Good morning. The OMG CDA, an exclusive to Heaven Gifts. This is a tank that converts into an RDA. So you guys stick around. We're going to take this thing apart, build on it, and talk about it. This is VapeAM episode 127. That's a good question. How do we ever get this many episodes finished? I'm Eli Juicy Jones. This is Orbital Vaping Headquarters. Good morning. I just gave you guys a song. Someone said no song. Yes, David, you got a song. I hope you all have a very, very nice morning here. I hope you also have a cup of tea and a cool new RDA to build on. This is my coffee or tea. I can't remember. I'll tell you. It's tea. And I got my Shakespearean insult mug. Today, it's going to be roast meat for worms. That's what it is. I hope you guys are all having a nice one. This is what I'm talking about. The OMG CDA, the convertible RTA. So that's basically an RTA deck. You guys have seen that a million times. Got a big deck. I can put anything I want on it, and can just take the top off. I've got a few things to tell you about this. We're going to take it apart here and clean it up a little bit, put new wicks on it, and then I'll give you a few tips and tell you what I think about it. This thing is pretty cool. It's fun to be able to take the top right off. It has a juice flow control too, so we'll talk all about that. Everybody in chat, thank you everybody in chat. You guys helped me solve a technical problem this morning, and I appreciate that. You guys are always the best. And hello to everybody who joined us from Instagram. I was live on Instagram right before this, just boring them to death. They were watching me basically clean up my desk and make tea. That's boring. So you guys are great. Hi, Kylie. Hi, Mark. Hi, Jamie. Hey, Dude Mang. Hey, Andrew. Hey, Jeremy. Hey, Jason. Hey, David. Hey, Tenacious Tesca's Vapes. And Michael. And Jeremy. And Jamie. Everybody else. Love all you guys. You guys are great. Omar. Erme. All of you. Thanks so much. Stephen Waddell. Great to see you too. Hope you guys have a great morning. Dude Main says if you're having technical problems, just go back and refresh and come back, and he's having no trouble anymore. So let's jump down to the box here and take a look at this thing, shall we? All of us together. This morning I was taking it apart and it took a big chunk out of my finger, and I'll tell you how to avoid that. It was really kind of my fault. I just cranked it down dry as a bone without a towel. Disassemble it. This is the actual box. I love the way this thing looks. Not the box. I love the way the actual RTA looks. It's got your dual logos. It's got some basic information about it has an atomizer, some nichrome coils. It's not a user manual. It's just a card, a spare O-rings and screws, and a screwdriver. It says it comes in 3 colors. I don't see ice blue, but the links for this are in the description down there. Make sure that you use your code Juicy Jones HQ if you want to buy one of these. There's a link in the bio because they're about $43. Let me look at the price. $43.69, and if you take if you use the code, it's 15% off. It's Juicy Jones HQ, but there's a link down in the bio for that. Let's open this up. Come on, guys, notch the boxes. But it's properly sized. This thing is expensively packaged, but it looks just fine. It's got a spare glass, which I think is a basic courtesy everyone ought to extend to vapors. You need a spare glass. It's not tough to get the foam out. There's a cute little kit down in here that's just some nichrome coils, which look real nice. And your basic toolkit that's got a lot of extra O-rings, especially an extra O-ring for the top, fill top, which I'll show you is a super fat one. A couple of extra grub screws, and these are very large flatheads. A screwdriver that's almost too small to use on these. And a little instruction card, which has the wrong size. This is actually, I guess, a TPD measurement here, 2 mil. The actual size measurement is 3.6. As it indicates somewhere on this side, right there, 3.2. And the basic features are that it has a spin design for the top. This little guy just spins and comes off, and I'll show you that. I really like this actually. Comes off really easily to top fill. It has a cool dual deck, and it is you can pop the top off. Yep. And it says right here, can be disassembled, switch, easy to clean. So it's obviously they're just saying it's easy. So that's the box. The box is fun, I guess. I was going to ask you guys if you actually want me to set the new coils in there. What I have in here now are Dan's alienated coils inside the actual atomizer. Let me just take it all apart and I'll show it to you. I have to take the top off. The top fits in. The whole thing as a whole has an 810 top inside here. I'll put these in a little piece of paper towel right here. With an O-ring on the inside, as you'll notice. And what I'll do is I'll manually focus this little fella up here. Properties. And so it's got a huge center in there for you to be able to drip down into if you want to through the top. And the top fill is an extremely clever system that doesn't have a screw. Do you see how there's two metal hooks on there? Two actual metal hooks. Those metal hooks slide into these grooves here and here. So this is actually a great system. It only requires a quarter or half a turn, if that. Let's look. It requires a full quarter turn, and it's completely on or off. It has a very, very, very big O-ring inside here. It requires like a little mini screwdriver to get it. My fingernail is sufficient too. See, there you go. Comes out easily. So that is cool. I like this. This is the top part, and the top part actually rings off. And this is where I hurt my finger earlier because I did this dry. Don't do that. Don't do that dry. Instead, use a paper towel because don't be a fool like me. This is not meant to be disassembled dry as a bone like that, and so that's why I did that. See, there it goes. And I had it quite tight too. You guys remember we disassembled this on Instagram last night. And so the top part comes off right there with the glass. Has a little O-ring inside there. Pops right out. And that's just a basic top fill construction. That works great. This is the actual cap. And on their diagram, it's strange because on their diagram, this cap disassembles into a shorter one, but it's actually one piece, this whole thing. And I'll show you how this comes off the deck. It comes off the deck from the bottom. And what you'll see is that this ring here is the juice flow control. So when you turn the main barrel, the glass and the entire top and everything rotate that much to let you control the juice flow. And the juice flow is 4 symmetrical dual slits. 3, 4. Basically, if you turn it this way, it's an RDA, and you can just pop the top off. It comes right off. This has 2 O-rings, one here on the bottom, and one on the in the middle, and one on the bottom. And these 2 O-rings provide seal to the deck right here. So there's still some leaking and wetness out of the air holes, just a little bit, to bottom air RDA now. But it does a fairly good job. You'll notice that it has 2 little notches, a notch there and a notch there. And the notches correspond to these little divots. You see that right there? That's a cut in right there, and there's a cut in on the other side. Those lock the top down onto the deck. But what's strange about it is that there's O-ring resistance a little bit, and then it can actually, if you want it to be locked, you can put it down on there, but if you want to adjust the airflow at all, you have to pop the top off, which requires quite a bit of work. It doesn't just come off easily. Oh, and this time just the top came off. So I think what they intend is for you to adjust the bottom airflow and get that set up and then pop this part of it off. But every time I've ever popped it off, oh no, yeah. Yeah, that's never come off before. Usually the entire top comes off. So there's the RDA. And then if you lock this thing down and turn it, then it won't pull up anymore. That's a juice flow control. So I've been using this just as an RTA. I mean, to me, this is a slightly bit fussy because you have the same system on top and bottom. You have a locking, flicky fastener, which I really like. I remember we talked about this when we saw this on OBS. The OBS Cheetah has this exact same kind of construction, which is sitting right here. The Cheetah has little notches right there and right there, and those little notches correspond to a ring that's set in the top. This is exactly the same, except that ring is horizontal. But in this case, they've got it done 2 times. So the way they have it set, you set the airflow one, and the only way to do that is to put it into RTA mode and then pull the top off. And I can't be the only one who sees the flaw with that to get the airflow off. So I basically think this is a little bit strange, but I think that once you set it, it's pretty good. Like right now, the top is not locked down on there. I can tell you. You can see, because you can see a little bit of the air or a little bit of the silver. So if I keep pressing, I might be able to get it down, or I can try to get it off completely by reassembling it. So let's put the top back together at least. I mean, to me, this thing is a little bit strange. Hey, Michaela. Hey, Jim. Chris Denton. Nice to see y'all. So this metal right here is pretty sharp. That's what made all these cuts right here, those two and that one. So I use a lot of RTAs and stuff, and very few of them actually cut me. Very few. Okay. Get this thing. Ouch. Okay, so I popped the entire thing off. So you'll notice that in RDA mode, it's supposed to come off of the airflow ring. Like, so they come apart here. But it's extremely difficult to get that to actually come apart, I'll tell you. Oh, my light is flickering, y'all. Huh, that's strange. Because I hit it as hard as I can. I pulled this thing off. So these two pieces coming apart is really tough. Like, it's really tough to get those apart, except when this thing is locked on here. And this thing doesn't ever actually lock on here. This thing is only held on by O-ring friction. Ever. So it's a little strange that they imagine that's going to come apart every time. So to me, it's not exactly working. See, look, there. Well, no, it came off. The entire bottom came off. So while we were cleaning it, it would do that. But now it doesn't seem to want to do it. So this thing is, if you want to adjust the airflow, what they want you to do is set the top down on the O-ring and then turn it. Oh, look, the top came off that time. So you see how kind of infuriating this is? It's sort of like, if you get it set correctly, it can work. But there's like a tiny little spot there where if you pull, that'll come up. Actually, it's okay. Here's how it works. If you're pulling up while you turn, it comes right off. But if you just turn it and pull, it doesn't. If you turn it all the way and pull, it pulls the bottom up as well. So we just figured it out together. This has 3 settings. Not 2, it has 3. And so it's sort of mislabeled. If you put it down so that the little metal tab is in the center of this, then the top RDA top comes off of the airflow. So ostensibly, you set the airflow where you want, which is not that easy, and then you set this, and this comes on and off, depending on whether it's in the middle or all the way to the right. If you turn it all the way, it pulls the airflow. You go here, that's pretty clever. It's the juice. The problem with this is that there's still no way to get, I hit my light again. You see that the airflow part is very difficult to get up, which is fine. But if you set the airflow, say on halfway, let's say I set the airflow on halfway, which is not easy. There we go. We're down on the track, and then I'm turning it, but it doesn't want to go that way. So I take it back off. And we set it down, and look, we're on half air, right? So up here in juice flow land, none of the juice flow ports correspond to the juice ports on these. So it's in RDA mode, but if I want to stay in RTA mode and adjust the air, you can't adjust the air and still have good juice flow. Or I'm sorry, yeah. So this entire time I've used this, I've always had the air fully on. So they seriously need to think about how these juice flow control ports are made, because there's no way really to adjust the air properly and still be able to get enough juice flow. I wasn't able to get anything over a 3mm to work in this thing for crap, but the 3mm coil does work. This is the 3mm coil. They send you, this is a 2.5mm coil, and that's perfectly good. This thing doesn't wick in any strange way. It wicks exactly like every other RTA. You see how I have a little extra cotton here? So I'm going to clean this up. I've been going through in one day and cleaning this up, and there's just absolutely nothing tricky about it. I did the exact same thing we do on every video for every RTA. I used the minimum amount of cotton to fill in the inside diameter of this. These are 3mm stainless steel coils from Daniel. Alienated coils. They're stainless steel, and they come out to about 0.1, something like that. Yeah. And Chris Denton is talking about the 510 on this thing. Yeah, that's nothing. Totally. It's lasting. But this wicking is totally, I don't really have anything special to tell you about this. It's not really that interesting. The deck works great. Look what you've got. You've got huge grub screws that you just stick both coils down inside of, and I cut them right on the actual device. So this thing is a pretty easy to build RTA, and all you have to do is make sure that when you cut your cotton, that you only cut an extremely short amount. Look at how little cotton I have in there. You notice that I just don't have a ton of cotton inside that thing. It's just enough to get down in there. And I try not to make too much of a puffy mess and have the stuff stick out. But yeah, just cram it, not cram. Just gently push the cotton down so the ends are down inside there. I want the ends in the bottom. I am using Texas Tough Quick Wicks. That's the only cotton I use in RTAs. Don't ask me about any other cotton in RTAs, because all of it is not as good as this in RTAs. In RDAs, you can use anything. But that's as much trouble as I had to go to. If you're not planning on using this in tank mode, this won't matter. But here's the thing about this. Because of these are perfectly good sized, but because this system has perfectly good RDA mode juice flow here, the actual juice flow, in order to use it and have it open, if you want to use this as a tank, you have to keep the airflow open all the time, or you're going to have insufficient juice flow. And these juice flow holes are very, very small. I believe that they should be like one slot on the bottom, but twice as wide. They need to make those probably twice as wide just to get this going right. If you're doing your juice correctly, then it won't leak. I haven't had any problem with it actually leaking. But because there's juice flow limitations, it's only ever going to flow so quickly through this thing. It's very limited, and this thing has restricted air in the first place. I want to tell you guys that this is a restricted air RTA. Even the fattest air on this thing is still exactly where I like it, which some of you guys should know is restricted, and it's great. So you can't vape above about 80 watts on this 0.1 without outracing the juice flow. There's just not much of a way. I mean, I could reduce the cotton and everything, but it'll just leak. Hey, Jim Bachtrayson gave us 10 pounds. Thank you so much, Jim. I love you, man. You're such a nice guy. I appreciate that. Thank you to Jim. I don't have notifications coming up popping here with party icons or anything, but I'm going to make those because they're awesome. Thank you so much, Jim Bachtrayson. Jim Bachtrayson was our guest last week on Vaping Dawn to Dusk, which was a really good time, actually. Really had a good one. Flavor on this is good. Flavor on this is really good. When you use it in RDA mode, if you're using it in RDA mode, like you see I pulled that off, and you can't take the top fully off. Yeah, because the holes are still open. If you do that. So the truth is, this could be the biggest disaster in the universe. I mean, it has the potential of being a huge disaster. If you just have to be careful, y'all. If you take the top off, because remember, this has 3 settings, not 2. So it's all the way this way, and they're all the way open. So I'm going to rotate it halfway, and you'll notice that the air holes are still open when it's in the off position. So you could easily rotate this off in your pocket if you don't watch out. I'm going to clean up some of the extra mess that just appeared on there because I took the top off a few times. But look at this. I absolutely love this. If you have the top on and the juice flow all the way closed, you can easily pop the top off then. Make any adjustments you need. But be warned that if you're going to use this in RDA mode, make sure that it is all the way closed, or pull off the entire top. The entire top, not just the RDA top. In fact, I'm not sure I see the point of being able to take this off. Even though it looks nicer. If they made that longer and wider so that they could, if the juice flow were closed when you did this, it would be much cooler. Because then you could take off whatever you've got on there. So overall, this thing is a little bit fussy. But it's kind of cool. It looks amazing on everything I put it on. All of my RDAs and stuff look great with this on it. It only works best with coils that are, I mean, I'm not going any lower than this. I picked stainless steel for these builds so that I could get the hottest, quickest ramp ups. They work in temperature control just fine. Flavor is very good. This is Eaten Mess. It's a strawberry meringue kind of cream flavor, and it's so delicious. I really don't have too much of a problem with this thing, except that it's so fussy. This is kind of a tech dorks toy, and at $40, $38 with a discount, something like that. Yeah, what is it? So $46. It's going to be about 40 bucks with the discount if you use the Juicy Jones HQ code. I would say this is a fun one if you have some money to throw at it. It's a pretty cool RTA. I'm not sure I would want this to be my only RTA, but it could be because it works as an RDA too. Just remember that when you're converting, you have to think about the juice and where the juice flow holes are. So if you're going to pull the top off and there's juice in it, pull the entire top off, not just the RDA top. And if you're working on just RDA mode, then yeah, you can pull the top off. I'm doing it here just to show you, but if you do that when there's juice in here, it's going to make a big mess. Don't do that. My advice for the guys over at OMG is find a way to get this top off of here easier with the juice flow holes closed, and maybe increase the juice flow holes. Although this is a pretty cool sweet spot. I mean, this is a restricted air thing, and I've been vaping it at full air, and I like it. I like restricted air. I like it. So the flavor is good, and so I give this kind of a thumbs up, but with a big star on it. That you have to be willing to mess with it, and it has a potential for being a gigantic disaster. I wouldn't say that it's super revolutionary. We've seen things like this before, but I do like it. And I especially like the way it looks. I think that they made this entire thing just look extremely nice. It's all matte finish. Every 810 that I stick in it looks pretty good. Let me just grab another one here from somewhere. They all look cool. And so this thing's all right. Not like an earth-changing device, but definitely all right. What do you guys think in the audience? How are you doing? I'm Eli Juicy Jones. This is Orbital Vaping Headquarters. This is a look at the OMG CDA. It's a Heaven Gifts exclusive. Make sure you click on like and subscribe, because I'm sure everyone hasn't clicked on that like button. And you can find the like button on your TV by pressing the menu button or pausing on YouTube and then going over to options. And it'll give you a thumbs up and a thumbs down. So please do that. If you don't subscribe, click subscribe. We're live twice a week, 6 in the morning on Wednesday, 8 in the morning on Saturday. VapeAM is this show, and that show is Vaping Down to Dusk. All right, let's get some audience reactions, and I hope everyone else there has a great day. I may flip this out later. Hey there. Sorry, I was just sort of clearing my throat there for a second. Let's see. Dude Meng says it looks kind of cool, a little complicated. He's still looking for a nice RTA. Yeah, there's good. Get a Petrie 24, man. Good RTA. Not a 22. Ask Chris Denton, Ichi Bear. He also knows every good RTA. We talk about these a lot. We both love the Serpent Mini. Serpent Mini is so great. The Serpent RDTA is actually our favorite. I should be specific. We love the Serpent RDTA. I love that thing. And I also love... I actually like this thing that I just got. Let me show you. I just got this thing from Smockjoy, and I actually love it. It vapes like a Lido 120 on steroids, and it's called the Kaiser. Smockjoy. Really like this thing. Inexpensive, doesn't leak, works great. Mike Barry says it looks like a lot of work. Yeah, it is a lot of work. I think this needs a V2. Tim says the Amit and the Manta are good. That's right. We were just talking about this. On our Discord, make sure you join us on Discord if you haven't. There's a link down in the description. Click on that. Register free with email, then click on the link again. Well, if you're using that Peerless Dude Man, you're probably pretty happy. It's probably a little bit on the messy side. Think about the, yeah, I see what you're saying there. Think about that Manta. Pretty good. And the Amit too, but Manta's pretty. Jim is talking about the engine. The engine is great. I love the engine. Yeah. I have an engine somewhere here in my giveaway pile. Yeah, I don't know where it is, but I do. There it is. Oh, that's the engine sub. There's a Cheetah, original Cheetah. Stainless. Need to give that to somebody. They still make the engine. And actually, OBS just came out with a new tank and a new mod that I don't have. I don't know anything about them. I haven't talked to them in a while. Maybe they didn't like my reviews. I don't know. They always say they like them. I think that they're just a little company trying to get by. There it is. OMG. I love the finish on this thing. It feels good. It's got some messiness on there now, but it really isn't a messy thing. Not really. And then, like I said, you can just pull the entire thing off. You can vape that way. You can drip into that. Whatever. It isn't as good. But like I said, I wouldn't recommend vaping it with the airflow open. Not much. Mike Berryneck, you can't find cheetahs anywhere? Really? Wonder why. Yeah, this OMG looks great. They really got the looks right, I think. It just looks great and everything. You guys want to do some show and tell on the deck? I'll like get a bunch of mods out. Like this one is going to be too small for this, I think. This is the Alpha Fox. Well, no. 25, that fits exactly. So that fits on there. It's a little heavy for that, but it works. I absolutely love the way it looks on this thing. Oh my god, I love this setup so much. 85 watts. Works great. And voltage drop makes it a much smoother vape, actually, out of that thing. Here is the Wismec RX2 2700. Fantastic. Is that even on? 103 watts. That'll be too much. Well, will it? What was I doing? I was doing 80 watts. So let's go back to 80. So this is a dual battery mod. I hate this mod. Door comes loose all the time. Looks fantastic. Here it is on my Dovepo Ember. So it overhangs on there pretty good, but usable. If you built it right, you could do that. That's 50. Not enough watts. This thing doesn't have enough voltage for this. It's a 2400 in there. Here's a cuboid mini. It's gonna overhang on this. And it's gonna kill the cuboid mini's battery too. Yeah. It's never gonna have enough power for this. Works fine. It's gonna kill the battery so quick though, but it works great. See, I'm surprised. That worked fine. Here's my DNA. The 5 cents fixed on this guy, by the way. Here is my Limitless LMC box. Gonna look good on this, I know. Yep. Batteries in that? $40, $50, $60, $70, $80. Yeah, that thing has a lot of voltage drop. Does it protrude enough for hybrid? Oh yeah, twice as much. More than twice as much as you need for a hybrid connect. Plenty, plenty, plenty for that. Let's see what it looks like on my iTaste SVD. Not too bad. Could be worse. And in fact, where is my mech that I set aside for this very purpose? Its gold glory. Oh, there it is. And this is larger than my 24 millimeter. So there's some overhang there. You see this part's absolutely flush. And then the airflow and everything else makes it overhang. Got plenty of Mac. Kristen says he only likes RDAs when he's at home on the sofa. All right. So yeah, there's that. Let me put this back on here. Back on the Sky Star here. Got the juice flow control open. Airflow is all the way. I'm going to try. Yeah, see, it's hard to find where the airflow is all the way closed. There, we found the nick. There's a little thing. I prefer it there with it all the way closed. So I don't think it's so useful that you can adjust the air. It'd be better for me if you just leave it alone. Jeremy Fuchs, you're so right. He said, I need that Innokin resin honeycomb mod. Innokin just came out. It was the Innokin or Joytech. I can't remember. I think Innokin came out with this beautiful looking mod, but it's only 18650s. What's going on with you guys? 18650s. That's just crazy sauce. That makes no sense. Okay, there it is. I have to go because it's going to be a work day. I think all you guys are great. Let's vape out. Everybody remember, we're trying to get old. To spread the word, share these videos, click like and subscribe. This is Orbital Vaping Headquarters, and I'm Juicy Jones HQ. You can join us on Discord. You can join us on Instagram at Juicy Jones HQ, and I'm also on Twitter at Juicy Jones. I think all you guys are great, and I want to thank everybody who is tuning in. Chris, Jim, especially Jim, who made a donation today. He was absolutely fantastic. I really appreciate that. Thanks so much. And make sure that you click on the video for his, or the link for his video, because he was a great guest and we had a fun time. So, you guys are all the best. Have a drink, a cup of coffee, and a vape, and have a great morning. It's been VapeAM. Thank you.